You know that feeling, right? That spot where you're just banging your head against the wall because you absolutely need someone's help. Your boss, a colleague, someone from another team, but you have zero actual authority over them. We've all been there. Well, today, we're going to talk about how to stop hitting that wall and start finding the door.
So, to kick things off, let me paint you a picture. A real-life, high-stakes story that shows you exactly what happens when collaboration goes completely off the rails. And believe me, the fallout can be huge.
All right, imagine a company that has just poured $140 million into a brand new product. Marketing is hyped, the sales team is ready to go, but there's a problem. The tech team is way behind schedule. The pressure is just building and building.
So, with their backs against the wall, what do you think they did? They rolled the dice. Against everyone's better judgment, they pushed ahead with this huge, live demonstration for the entire company, just hoping they could fake it till they make it. You can probably see where this is going.
And yeah, it was a total disaster. The product just completely crashed and burned right there in front of everybody. What followed was just pure chaos. Every single team started pointing fingers, the blame game was in full effect, and any trust that existed was just shattered.
So this whole mess? There's a name for it. The source material calls it the authority trap. It's this belief that you need to be the boss, that you need formal power to get anything done. And getting out of that trap means we have to completely change how we think about what influence really is.
You know, it reminds me of that classic Jack Benny joke. A mugger comes up to him and says, "Your money or your life?" And Jack Benny just stands there silently until the mugger gets impatient. And Benny says, "I'm thinking." Look, even in the most extreme situation, we're all making a calculation. We're weighing our options based on what we value most.
And that's the key right there. In our work lives, the things people value are called currencies, and I'm not just talking about money. These are the goods and services of our organizations, things like resources, recognition, relationships, even just making someone's day easier. This is what people are willing to trade for. And understanding that's the real secret to influence.
Okay, so this is all great in theory, but how do you actually use it? Well, step one is maybe the most important of all. You have to stop assuming you know what other people want, and you have to start figuring out what their world actually looks like. Honestly, this is where most of us get it wrong right from the start.
It's kind of like a modified golden rule, which George Bernard Shaw put perfectly. Do not do unto others as you would that they should do unto you. Their tastes may not be the same. It has nothing to do with what you would want in their situation. It's all about what they want. You've got to try to see the world from their side of the desk.
Right, so how? How do you actually get inside their head and figure out what they care about, what currency they trade in? Well, it's time to put on your detective hat. It all starts with asking the right questions. So think like a detective for a second. Is their job super repetitive? Because if it is, they might really value a new challenge. Are they in a high-risk role where they're worried about their job? Then maybe security is their main currency. Do they need help from a ton of other people just to get their own work done? Then good relationships are probably key for them. And the big one, what kind of pressure is their own boss putting on them right now? The answers to these questions are like clues that lead you straight to what they value most. And look, to show you just how badly this can go wrong when you assume, let me tell you a quick story. So there's this guy, his tire blows out in the middle of nowhere on a dark road. And of course, he doesn't have a jack. He sees a light on at a farmhouse up the road and starts walking. But as he walks, he starts building this whole crazy story in his head. This farmer is going to be so mad I woke him up. He'll probably think I'm trying to rob him. There's no way he's going to lend me his jack. So by the time he gets to the door, he's completely worked himself up. The poor farmer opens the door with a smile, ready to help, and our guy just punches him square in the nose and yells, "You can keep your damn jack." He's reacting to this story in his head, not the real person in front of him. And just like that, he blew any chance of getting what he needed, all because he assumed the worst. So once you've managed not to punch the farmer, metaphorically speaking, and you've actually taken the time to understand their world, you get to step 2. You can start to identify the specific currencies they find valuable. And we're not just talking about helping them with a task, right? These currencies can be so much more. They can be relationship-based, like giving someone public praise, or even just taking the time to really listen to them. Or they can be deeply personal, like helping reduce their stress, taking a risk off their plate, or doing something that makes them look good to their own boss. And that brings us to the final step, where it all clicks into place. This is where you stop just asking for favors, and you start framing your request as a trade, a deal that's genuinely good for both of you, a true win-win. Take this case of Jim and his boss, Wes. Jim kept getting blindsided because Wes wouldn't share key information. Just asking for it didn't work. It sounded like a demand, so Wes ignored him. But then Jim had a breakthrough. He figured out that Wes's currency, what he really cared about, was their department's reputation. So he reframed his request. He said, "If you give me a heads up, I can prevent problems that make our department look bad." Suddenly, it wasn't a demand. It was a partnership to protect something they both cared about, and Wes was all in.
So you see the shift? This isn't about asking for favors anymore. This simple model turns you from someone who's just kind of begging for help into a strategic partner. You stop begging and you start trading. It really just boils down to these 3 steps. 1. Diagnose their world. Get curious about their pressures and priorities. 2. Identify their currencies. Figure out what they actually value, not what you think they should. And 3. Make the exchange. Frame your request as a win for them too.
And I really want to stress this point. This is not about being manipulative or playing some kind of political game. It's actually the complete opposite. This is about building real, authentic relationships by taking the time to understand someone and finding common ground so you can get important work done together.
So I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Think about that one person you need to influence right now. The person whose cooperation is critical. And for a minute, stop thinking about what you need from them. Instead, ask yourself, what is the currency that they truly value? And what trade can you offer to start building that alliance?